Hey, my name is Yolanda, and welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. Tune in each week as I speak frankly about life experiences from my perspective and offer you a bit of unsolicited advice. Let's take a little time to laugh, to think, and to cry as we tackle some serious topics and some not so serious topics. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Hey, welcome to Frank Factualities, the podcast. My name is Yolanda. Thank you for tuning into my show for another week and joining me for another episode. How is everyone doing? I hope all is well. I have been doing just okay. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's a busy time, just getting accustomed and back on my regular schedule. Still some long nights. Still really hadn't gotten my personal life together with the things that I want to do outside of my 9 to 5. And I think that that's something that I struggle with. It's like personal goals and things that I want to take care of kind of get the backseat to my day-to-day. I let my 9 to 5 take over my mental and physical, and then I'm exhausted and I don't have time to do the things that I want to do to work towards my future goals. And so I need to switch that mindset in and reset. But as you know, whenever you have multiple roles, and I don't mean that as in your job, but multiple roles like, okay, I'm a mom, I am a wife, I am a sister. When you're all of those things and you have to figure out how to fit the duties that you have in all of those things. I'm an auntie. So just like past weekend on Saturday, I had a party for my son, my niece, and my nephew. My niece and my son turned 16. So it was their sweet and savage 16th. And then my nephew is turning 17. So that all of their birthdays are in September. They're Virgos, and so we had this Virgo bash, and it was pretty cool. Not a lot of kids showed, but we didn't set the party for a lot of kids. It was invite only, and each of them could invite 20 to 25 kids. So it was only going to be a max of about 75 kids anyway. And so, you got some RSVPs, people who said they were coming, didn't come. You had some people that last minute said, hey, so-and-so is coming. Can I come with them? So all in all, when I talked to my son and all the other kids, even the kids that attended, because some of them, or a lot of them, of course, are at the school that I work, they were like the next day, yo, you need to host another party, Miss Gore. That was fun. We had a great time. So I asked my son, I said, did you have a good time? He was like, no, I had a great time. And he said he even lost his voice. So that was good for me. That's all that matters. But I don't know if I would ever throw another party, because the only person that was engaged in the process was my niece. All the two boys couldn't care less. Okay, I was so sick of them because everything I was asking, like my niece picked the colors, my niece came up with the theme. It was just her. She said what she may have wanted on a menu, like she told them what they needed to wear. So it was just me in conversation with her because they were the worst. So I was like, can I swap kids? Let me have my niece as a child and throw the party for her, because it would have been dope actually if it was a girls' party only. But she had to share with the boys just because I thought it would be dope for all the cousins to get together. And they go to 2 different schools. So just the combination of different kids, it was really cool. Anyway, moving along, let's get straight into street talk.
Yeah, what's going on? Let me know.
So I got to do a follow-up to my Charlie Kirk situation, because everybody been in their feelings about this, honey. And I even was second guessing what I said. And I'm going to stand on business with that, because I'm a human first. And my little heart I am very sensitive to injustices. And that's across all races, genders, sexual preferences, religion. That's just who I am to my core, and I can't change that. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, I knew that this man spewed racist comments, and he had hate speeches for the most part for a lot of things he did. I told you all that I agreed with the issue that he talks about with college being a scam. I agree with his views on transgender rights and relation to children. Not all transgenders, don't get your panties in a bunch. It's just some things about the decisions that people make in reference to children in that umbrella, that there was a few things that he talked about that I agree with. But I need you guys to understand, even a broke clock is right twice a day. So even though he was 98% wrong on everything that he said. There was two things that, again, he talked about that so that's it. I didn't say, oh my God, I follow him. The only thing about him that came across my news feed, to be honest with you, was the college stuff. And that is how I got introduced to him. But he doesn't come across my algorithm with that racist hate stuff. So I don't know what you guys got going on your algorithm, but you might need to clean out your searches and the things that you watch, because if those hate things are coming across your feeds a lot, then you need to rethink how you do your social media. But I don't really subscribe to a lot of those things. And so I don't see a lot. I say all that to say I don't see a lot of that hateful type of things. But anyway, I think that the reason why you see a lot of Black people, including myself, that have empathy, sympathy, however you want to call it, whichever one we use in today, is because we got to see him get shot. And if it just was, oh, okay, Charlie Kirk got shot, I'd be like, oh my God, that's terrible. But to see his body go from alive to unalive in a matter of seconds, and in the way he did it, I think that that's what had me sad by the situation. And I'm gonna tell you why, because the Ukraine girl happened the same week or the same day, I can't remember. And also those students, those little kids. But I don't want to say we're desensitized to school shootings, but they happen so much and we don't see that. Thank God we don't. But it just becomes one of those situations, like even if you find out that your friend's family member or close associate's family member has died, you send your prayers and condolences, but you're not tied closely to the situation, so it doesn't send you there. But if you got to see it, just like George Floyd is a great example, not to compare him to Charlie Kirk, that's not what I'm doing, guys. Get over yourselves, okay, before you start. What I'm saying is that when we got to see that happen to him, we were traumatized because we watched his life disappear in that video while he was saying he couldn't breathe and asking for his mom. So that's what I'm saying. We got to see that and it changed our perspective. And so we felt differently versus the Mike Brown. We didn't necessarily see it. We saw him on the ground, but we didn't see the incident happen when he got shot. At least I didn't. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. I think that's the issue with Charlie Kirk, because people videotaped it and we got to see it happen. And I don't wish that on nobody. At the end of the day, I think that, and I did see someone else say, oh, okay, he wasn't just speaking about his opinion, he was spewing hate and he had influence, so that hate was spread. Everybody's experience in America or in your life is different based on where you live, based on your social economic status. Like all of those things are different. I've told y'all a long time ago, I live in a biggody Black city. When I say biggity Black, everybody Black. Your doctor gonna be Black, your principals of schools are Black, our mayor is Black. Like everybody is Black. Our sheriff is Black. Everybody. So where you may be in a city where the white people marching, the baby, that ain't going down. Now, back in the day, I remember that happening, marches happening downtown. That's just not happening here. So my experience and my day to day is Black power. It's completely Black power. And you won't really understand it unless you speak to somebody who didn't come up through or in that way. My husband is an example. He's from Charleston, Mount Pleasant, and the majority of his school was predominantly white. It might have been like 2% that were Black when he was coming up. And his mom and dad and him came to a program. Well, he was already there, but his mom and dad came up from our son who did an oratory contest. And they were so amazed by how many Black teachers and Black principals. And in my head, I'm desensitized to that because that's my normal. When people are like, okay, all of my teachers growing up were white. That's not my story. That's not my normal. Everybody's been Black. And so I have a sense of Black privilege, how Charlemagne talks about in his book, because so I'm not going to say that I don't think racism exists. Obviously, I know that. But I can tell you that and I'm biggity Black. I'm talking about ain't no mistaking me for mixed. I am a dark skinned Black woman. So nobody, if you are that and you've come across me, then I'm definitely going to get the brunt of your racism. But I just haven't experienced that. That hadn't been my story. And I'm not trying to talk about Lil Wayne like, oh, I don't know it exists. I'm not that crazy. Obviously, I know it exists. And I know people who it's happened to, even my grandparents and great grandparents who I've known growing up, that these things have happened to them. Like I said, I remember the KKK used to march downtown when I've been in elementary school. Yes, that's a form of racism. I mean, personally to me as an adult or as someone who can remember someone interacting with me, I just don't have those, because every day that I live my life and the things that I do, whether it's my job, the stores I go to, the restaurants, they're Black owned, y'all. So it's just a different experience. And you hear people talk about this when they're like BMF, when they were talking about when they left Detroit, or wherever the hell they from. I think it's Detroit, the BMF Black Mafia family. And then they went to Atlanta to like set up shop. How mesmerized they were about the Black culture in Atlanta. Things are just different when you live in a Black city. And so yeah, man, I just think that everybody's experience and what they've gone through will be the factor into how they respond or react to these things. But I had talked to a Black Panther, so I think I'm cool because it's only one person I know. She works with me that I call her a Black Panther because everything is pro-Black, like biggity Black, not anti anything, just pro-Black. And even she was devastated by what she saw. And again, not because trust me, on any other day, she might have some other choice words. However, this was just like, oh my God. So I don't know who you are and why you weren't bothered by what you saw if you did see the video, but I can only speak for me and my heart, and I don't want to see that happening. I can't even stand and run over something dead in the road, okay, without being mortified by it. Like, it just tears my little heart and stomach up. Like, oh no, don't do it, don't run it over. Even though it's a dead animal, I'm just like, don't run over it again. And God forbid if I hit an animal, Jesus Christ, it's going to send me over the edge. So that's me. That's my own personal thing. That's just what I do. But I mean, what would Jesus do? Let's be real. At the end of the day, I've seen a lot of pastors talk about it, and I'm just like, I just wouldn't say it. We all say everybody deserves forgiveness. Everybody's going to go to heaven as long as they believe in their Lord and Savior. And at the end of the day, everybody wishing a man hell. I don't have those ill wishes for anybody. That's just not how I live my life. I just don't. At the end of the day, you got to answer to God for that. And that's what we say. If you're Christian and you believe in it, that's what we say. They are supposed to answer to him. So I'll let them answer to them. It's not for me to say how he ends up. That's not my place to say. Do I agree with being a racist? Do I condemn that type of behavior? Absolutely. But that's not my monkey, my show. I haven't been given the power. You know what I'm saying? The power is with the Almighty, and I'm going to let him handle that as he's going to handle me from my heart and how I answer and move and do things. So, I'm going to continue to move with sympathy and empathy and just grace and love for all humans, whether they love me back, because that's just not how I was wired. So it is what it is. Let's move on past that. I want to talk about Cardi B. She's already announced that she's pregnant. She's officially come out. I think we all knew that already. But of course she didn't announce it. So we had to just make our assumptions. Some people thought it was a publicity stunt. She was going to push out an album whenever her date dropped. But she has a baby with Stefan Diggs. And that was the other thing. We knew she probably was pregnant, but nobody knew who the baby daddy was. There was speculation that it was probably Offset because she would go back and forth with him. But she's confirmed that the baby is with Stefan Diggs. And I'm going to be honest, I feel some type of way. Not because the girl can't have no baby. She can have babies. But if you saw the clip that she did with Gail, she said that she hadn't even told her parents, and that her parents, she was afraid of her parents. Now, people in the comments of that clip were saying, oh, okay, she's grown. We don't say nothing with Nick Cannon and Elon Musk have all these kids, and Cardi is rich, and so she can afford to take care of these babies. But there's a couple of things I want to say about the situation that I haven't really heard anyone talk about. I try to, give a different perspective on these topics if I can. And I feel like the reason she's afraid of her parents is because, I don't know if you've noticed about her, but her family takes care of her kids. She didn't hire a nanny. Her nannies are her daddy, her mom, and I want to say a cousin of hers. If you've ever seen her kids out and about, they're with family. So she's probably hesitant because even though she's probably paying these people very well, your family is still going to act like you burdening them. Because I used to pay my mom to watch my son when he was first born, and she got paid for it. But that doesn't mean she was like, all right, now when you get off, you need to come get this little boy because I'm tired and I want some rest. And I was paying for her to tell me I'm tired and I want some rest. The daycare not going to say that. They're just going to say, you better pick this child up by 6 o'clock. If not, we calling DSS. You only get one time to be late. You late again, we going to call DSS to come get your child. Our parents and our family members are just going to complain and fuss. So I think her family is just like, yo, we already got 3 kids. Like, you doing the most, babe. And this little girl, it ain't even, you just turned 1. So it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're going to give us 4 kids now we got to take care of, because she's a working woman. So it's not like she don't just work a 9 to 5 like us. Okay, we're going to go 9. We're going to get out at 5. She's already said sometimes she in the studio all night and she don't get back home till in the morning, and then she sleeps all day. So where you're thinking like, oh, okay, well, she be with her kids at a certain point. Sometimes she's not, because she got to sleep. Then you got to say, like, she's doing this tour. You saw those tour dates. Some of them are back to back. So she can take the baby on the road, but come on, y'all, a small baby like that. Cause I think she's going to have that baby. She's pretty big. She's not going to be still pregnant in February. I think that the dates are February because she'll be done have the baby and her little 6 or 8 weeks would have already passed because she hadn't announced how far she is. But based on the size of her belly, because everybody doesn't carry humongous, I think that she's probably about 6 months at least. That's my speculation. So I don't think she has long to go. So yeah, I think she was afraid because her family is probably going to look at her crazy. And honestly, I wanted Cardi to stay pure. And don't judge me on that word. I wanted her to stay, okay, I have my kids by my husband, because people have been calling her a hoe for a while. And I didn't like that because I'm like, the girl got married and she only has kids by her husband. How does she get to be fast and she a hoe and she just, mess with all these guys or whatever. And so I just didn't like that. And I like the fact that she stayed there. But, that's not the case. And everybody's story is going to be different. Don't take what I'm saying about pure saying that I'm judgy. I'm obviously not. I got 2 kids by 2 different men. I'm just saying that for her, I'm rooting for Cardi. So I just wanted her to have this fairy tale type of life that I'm sure she wanted. I think that she's a genuine, humble, authentic person. And I just like to see those type of people shine. But I think that's why she was afraid to tell him. I also don't like the fact that I feel as though, and this is just me talking, I could be wrong, I don't know her, that Stefan is a true rebound. All of us have been in rebound situations, and what happens in a rebound situation is that you have been with somebody for so long, you are getting over them, you decide to go outside and you want to turn up and you want to have a good time, and then you fall for somebody and you're falling for them for, in my opinion, all the wrong reasons. And what are the wrong reasons? It's that person is doing everything your ex didn't do. So you're not really measuring the whole man, or a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because this can go both ways. You're measuring what you were lacking in your previous relationship. And as long as you get that one thing fulfilled, then this person becomes the love of your life. Oh my God, they're just so amazing. So for example, if your partner never took you out, you never went out on dates, you didn't do anything, and then this new person you get is taking you out on dates, they're introducing you to their friends, and this is just something that you haven't experienced before. You're just like, oh my God, this is the best relationship I've ever been in. But you forgot a lot of stuff because all you were looking for was that one thing you had gone without for so long. And then this person is going to give you exactly what you want. You know why? Because when you're fresh out of a relationship, you done vent so much about what you didn't like in your previous relationships. We shouldn't do that, but we do. Oh, my ex-boyfriend never told me he loved me. I was never able to spend a night at his house. He didn't introduce me to his family. I didn't know none of his friends. He never took me out on dates. He wouldn't buy me anything. He never gave me money. He didn't help me with the kids. Whatever it is, you done complain. So you know what that new man gonna do? A new woman? They're gonna do everything you said you wanted. And all you telling them you want is what you didn't get from that previous. You forgetting about the whole total package. You just focusing on that 20% that was missing out, that last relationship. And so it ended up being a rebound. And Stefan already got multiple kids by multiple baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? And I say multiple because I don't know. He's a football guy and I'm not really into football. And I only know about athletes whenever their life coincide with some hot topics. So I know him because of the other celebrity women or influence women that he's been with, because he's been with quite a few. And of course, now him being with Cardi. So I know that. But I think he has a young child, like under 1 or right at 1. So he has been pretty busy himself. And so I hope it works out for her. I'm not wishing the worst on her. I hope it works out. I'm just saying that I truly feel like this was a rebound. And she was just happy to be loved and paid attention to and doted on. And that happens to us a lot as women. And then we realize sometimes that we end up falling for the same thing that we had prior because we had ignored some of the other signs because we were just so focused on what we were missing. So that's what I see in that situation. Again, just my opinion, my unsolicited advice or my unsolicited opinion, because that's what I think. I truly think that that's what that was. And again, I could be wrong. And so moving into the topic that I want to discuss, it's about knowing who you are as an individual and recognizing what it is that you need outside of what somebody didn't provide to you. You get what I'm saying? Because too many times we're too busy seeking relationships based on what we didn't have in previous ones, instead of looking at ourselves as a whole to find out who is going to meet us equally and who we're going to be equally yoked with. And the reason I say that is because and I'm going to bring Cardi up again because she's the reason we're having this conversation. Again, I feel like Stefan is a rebound, but I also feel like he's the same type of guy. And she was probably mesmerized. She said 50 million times how fine she think he is. But I don't know if y'all recall this, but when she first got with Offset and they were talking about it, she's really honest now about things. And so she said that she couldn't believe that he wanted to talk to her. Like, me, what is it about me? All these other women that you have access to, that you can be in a relationship with, why did you choose me? She didn't feel as though I don't want to say worthy. She just was wondering, like, why me? Out of all these beautiful girls that you could choose from, why are you choosing me? And so she didn't think that it was anything special about her that would cause him to want to settle down, especially since he didn't settle down with any of these other women. You get what I'm saying? And why is that? Because we women carry our own insecurities. And sometimes no matter how much money we get, no matter how much surgeries we've had to improve ourselves, no matter the glow up we've had and how many times we call ourselves a bad bitch, them insecurities come to haunt us. And I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Everyone that I've met that have had weight loss surgery, and this is the only thing that I can compare it to, that's had weight loss surgery, has been that same heavy, insecure woman, no matter how good they look now. They move and like the same woman. And I say that meaning they make the same bad choices in relationships. They talk to you. You see a woman, you be like, dang, that dude is so beneath her. But because she's still in her head and in her mind and spiritually, she still feels like that woman she was. No matter how many changes she's made to her outside, no matter how financially stable she's been. And we mess that up a lot, y'all. We fuck that up a lot. We be like, my man left me. Let me go get right. I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna get a new hairstyle. I'm gonna do that all because you think he's gonna see you and he's gonna be like, oh my God, I missed what I had. No, you're doing that to make yourself feel good about you and hoping that somehow he feels like, oh my God, I gotta get that back. But that doesn't help you feel that deep down insecurity you have about yourself. And that goes for me too. I know that when I go out sometimes, if I'm not wearing the proper attire or undergarments with my attire, and I look at myself and I see the slightest thing that I'm insecure about, it could be my fupa, you know what I'm saying, might be hanging a little low. My girdle ain't really snatching me how it's supposed to. My arms are super big and I got on a strapless dress, and now I'm just, the whole time I'm looking at my arms. So now when I pass every mirror or when I'm walking by, I'm shifting my outfit, I'm checking the mirror, I'm moving, and my husband can't stand it. He'd be like, why you always messing with your clothes? You look fine. Stop always looking in the mirror. Stop. And he always saw it as an arrogant thing. Like, you just so, not arrogant. What's the word? Vain. He would always call me vain. And that's how he took it. Oh, you're always in the mirror. You're always checking yourself. You're always fidgeting with your clothes. You're just so vain. You look fine. You don't have to be checking yourself all the time. And what he didn't realize was it wasn't vanity. It was insecurity. I was checking myself because I was insecure about whatever the hell was going on with me that day. And I needed to make sure that I felt good about me, because otherwise I wasn't going to walk confidently. I wasn't going to speak confidently. I wasn't going to carry myself in a confident manner as if I felt insecure in that moment. And so at the end of the day, I think that we be making decisions like Summer Walker, for example. I'm like, why is she dating these bums? Now, I don't know that these dudes are bums. I'm just saying that, y'all. I'm just saying what I observe, what I feel. I could be wrong, but I feel like she ain't dating to her full potential either, because she's still seeing herself as the cleanup lady, literally the girl that used to clean houses, and she doesn't see like, yo, I'm Summer Walker. You get what I'm saying? Because that's not who we see ourselves as. The world see us sometimes as different, but we still see ourselves as that little girl who ain't never got over the fact that everybody called her ugly. And I'm talking about myself right now. Like sometimes you never heal from that. And every chance your mind gets to remind you that you still that person, it's going to haunt you every time. Sometimes you get triggered and you don't always get over it. And sometimes I am my best self and sometimes I do feel. But frankly, the fact of the matter is you're going to feel a lot of times how you felt when you were at your lowest. Sometimes those moments are going to happen. Pivoting from a relationship, I was just telling one of my coworkers that, I used to be homeless, and I've told you all that before. And my nightmares, my subconscious is always reminding me that moment can be there. I dream all the time about my car getting repossessed. Y'all, that car been paid for. I mean, like been paid for like years. Okay. Ain't nobody taking that car unless I call them to come get it. But that is a nightmare that I have because of my own insecurities. And no matter how much money is in my bank account, no matter how much money I make, no matter the fact that I got 2 incomes, in the back of my mind, I am one paycheck away from being broke, not having a place to stay and my car is being repossessed or sitting here with the lights off. I'm going to forever feel like that. It doesn't matter what I do. That's in the back of my mind. And, women always say, oh, we have BBLs or we get plastic surgery for ourselves. You do. But until you heal that little girl or that insecurity inside, you will forever be getting surgeries, because if you still feel like that person, you still moving and making decisions like that person you were, because we all do. We all do. Let's be clear. Let's be frank with ourselves. We know we move like that. We know we move like we still a hood nigga. We know we move still like we a fast girl. We move like we still move like that, even though we've moved past that. Like I'm middle class, maybe lower middle class. A working poor. Let me call myself that. I am the working poor, but I have been poor, like no money poor. But I'm going to move like I ain't got no money. And so, the running joke, our parents would be like, girl, I ain't got no money. And we say we don't have no money, but the kids be like, but you do have money. But we move like we don't have money because that's our insecurity. We don't want to ever not have the money. So that's how we pick our relationships, y'all. That's how we move. That's how we just do based on our previous situation. So what can you do differently? Number one, when you get in a new relationship, stop telling these dudes how your other relationship was. I will never do that again. I'm married and been married for a long time. But if I'm ever not married and I got to go into something new, I'm not telling you what was going on in my marriage. I want you to, as my brother would say, that was the best advice he ever gave. Allow a dude or a woman to show up how they are, so you can get to know the true them, how they would proceed with you, not by how you've influenced them. You get what I'm saying? Because if you give me the playbook, I'm going to play it because I follow a mean recipe. You give me the recipe, I'm going to kill it. You're going to think I can cook. But if you tell me go cook a lasagna, it might not taste the same if you tell me to follow the recipe. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all giving the dudes and the females the recipe. So yeah, I can read. I know how to follow measurements. I got this. And so you're going to be like, dang, she the best cook. No, I just know how to follow a mean recipe. I can read real good. I know how to read my measurements. I know how to, you know what I'm saying? But if you just start me from scratch and say, go, it might look a little different. And I think y'all need to let people have this opportunity for you to see who they truly are. See how they show up for you. See if they plan a date. Don't be like, my man never takes me out on a date. He probably wasn't either. He probably was just going to tell you to come over to the house. But now that you done fuss so much about how the man ain't never take you out, he's definitely not going to not take you out because he knows that, okay, well, I ain't going to get her. My man wasn't romantic. He didn't like to show public displays of affection, and I like to hold hands in public. That man might not like that. That girl might be like, man, this is a little bit too much, but you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see where this goes, so I'm going to acquiesce. And they doing it just so to make sure that you don't like them. But then you wonder why people be like, well, we were cool at first. They really liked me. And all of a sudden they don't rock with me no more. It's because they can't fake it no more, man. They tired. They done been on the interview stage with you. They done front like I'm going to be to work on time. And they tried. They've been on work on time for a whole month. Now it's month 2. And it's like, man, I'm tired of this. They habits, they regular day-to-day routine habits are going to kick in. And then now you don't like them anymore, or they don't like you because now they're being themselves. And it ain't working for you, or it ain't working for them, because it's like you needy, you super needy, and that's not what I want right now. You're super annoying, and that's not what I want right now. You're not enough for me. You don't do enough. Because now all of a sudden Offset saying, okay, she didn't cook and she always just wanted to go out to eat. Well, ain't the girl, well, at least she told us that. I would assume that you had already known that, but you was in the interview stage and you felt like, okay, well, we got money. We could just get chefs. Now all of a sudden that wasn't good for you because that's not what you wanted to your core. But unless you address that, unless you deal with that head on, you're going to always make the mistake. So I always say, be truthful to yourself. Stop wanting a fairy tale that you see that everybody else has. So we say we want a good settled man, a man that got his stuff together. He got his own house. He got his own money. He gonna be able to support me and my kids or my family. Well, what you think that man gonna want in return? Because he got his own standards too. So are we gonna be able to live up to them standards that he got? Because yes, I have my stuff together, but I don't want nobody coming into my perfect life with bad credit. Because you ain't about to come and drop whatever I got going on. Because what good are you to me? We can't build together, because if your credit bad and my credit good, what we gonna get together? Because I can't use your credit. And if I can't use your credit, I can't use your income. So it's not like you're going to help me level up. I'm going to still be stuck at the same spot that I'm at because you ain't really on my level. But see, we not asking them questions. We not asking questions about credit and savings and all those stuff on date. We want to know if he look good and if he's got big body, if his body parts big, and you know which one I'm talking about. Same thing with the men. We want to know if she freaky in the bed. We just be worrying about the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? You worrying about the wrong things. I hope she ain't gonna be with all that nagging, and she don't be with all that fussing, and she don't want to try to check my every move and see where I'm going. But she ain't good with kids, and her house nasty, and she don't clean, but you don't care because she let you come over there 2-3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But then the minute your boys want to come over, you just like, I don't think I want to let them come over here because she ain't really got it put together like that. And I want somebody that can host my friends when they come over, somebody that I'm going to be proud of, somebody that I'm going to be willing to show my friends and my family. And she don't really meet that mold yet because she going to be cussing, she going to be smoking, she going to be drinking. And that ain't really how I want to present myself. You see what I'm saying? I think about that all the time when I see these smart women with these hood dudes. I just be like, how you going to bring him to the Christmas party? He not even going to know how to have a conversation with you. Yeah, he look good, but outside of that, he don't match your vibe, babe. You just don't. And he's not going to be able to fit into your life and all of your life. And at the end, that's going to cause problems. It just is. It will. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be authentically you, and you got to heal those insecurities. You have to. If you don't heal them insecurities, and I'm telling y'all that because I'm working on myself. I've healed most of them, but I do get triggered, and there are times I'm just like, oh Lord, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling myself. That's all I got today, y'all. Until next week. I'll holla. Bye.